All right, so this is a view of online GDB. What I'm going to do is bounce back for a minute to the activity for the day. And today being Tuesday, we're going to do an invitation. You're going to click on this invitation. When you get to the next screen there, you're going to want to click in using Google. That way you use the same ID password at Tech Campus. You'll join Lake County Tech Campus class. I do not have classroom assignments out there. And click on this button that says create new project. Let's see, can I bring up a pen? See that? Create new project? Right up there. You're going to click on that. So when you click on that, hide tools, pause recording, there we go. When you do that, you're going to get basically a start of a particular language. The next thing you want to do is come over here and select your language. So I'm going to come up here and click on C++. So we've selected C++. Step 1 was create a new project. Step 2, set the language to C++. Step 3, I want you to see how to test what's here. And at the top, there's a little button that says run. So I'm going to click on that. Now what it's doing is it's doing the C3PO thing where it checks out the language and sees if it's discernible, understandable to the compiler. It will let it run, and those instructions will occur in order that you coded them. This is a sample program which is going to print in a formatted fashion the word hello world. Now that's different than what we looked at last week, and I want you to go, wait a minute, this is different than last week. So let me change this a little bit. And I mentioned that you can actually have other elements that you're including, and I said include something. This one is set up to use something called standard input and output. This is the more professional version. What I showed you last week briefly was just showing you the start of how to actually code with C in and C out, but stdio can work at the same time as iostream, which is the other one. So I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to include a second file. So these are called preprocessor directives. And that basically means that before we start to compile, I want to include the elements that can let me include some more code. So iostream is one, and standard input output's the other. So what we did last week is we used cout like this. Sorry, I'm cheap, so I better do it the right way. std : cout, 2 cartoon balloons, and we said, hello, governor. And we ended that with a \n to go down a line. And we had a semicolon at the end. Box just got hit. There we go. In fact, you can use that same \n here. It's an escape code sequence to go down a line. So now I'm doing it 2 different ways. I'm putting a message on the screen, and this one and this one are a little bit different. Let's see if they work together. I'm going to run this. By the way, I found that if you jump from one part to another, that it doesn't necessarily keep track of where you're at. I need to scroll up so you can see both examples. So using the iostream version, stdio, it allowed me to actually use the cout, which is the hello, governor. And that's what shows up right here. Hello, governor. The other part of the code that I've got in here is something that is new to you, and that's the part that's using printf, which comes from stdio.h. That lets me do printout and formatted, which gives us the hello world version right here. Now, the reason I want you to get comfortable using more than one input-output library is someday we'll be coding for yet a different input-output device, a game controller. So I want you to understand that based on the console that you're targeting, it's not always going to have a keyboard and a mouse, and sometimes you're actually going to include a different library so you can talk to the console, right? All right. We got to stay focused here, people. I'm going to stop this right now because what I just did was just to show people how to get into and do a run within this tool. So I'm going to erase some of this that's on the screen here. It's got to be a better way. probably like a new or whatever, and clean some of this up. But I think it's important that we talk about the little bits and pieces that add up to do something in a bigger game. What you're going to do today is you're going to get into one of these, and I'm just going to stop the screencast